In a recent episode of Courtside Club, popular television personality and NBA content creator Rachel DeMita delivered a sobering observation that has now begun to ripple across the WNBA landscape. DeMita suggested that Indiana Fever star Caitlin Clark might not return to action anytime soon and, in the worst-case scenario, could potentially miss the rest of the WNBA season altogether. The possibility of Clark sitting out for an extended period has struck a nerve with fans who had placed immense hope in her debut season. For a player who has rapidly become the face of the Fever, and arguably the most talked about rookie in professional basketball, even the hint of her being absent for the remainder of the season is enough to stir unease among her supporters and the broader WNBA audience. The Indiana Fever, led by head coach Stephanie White, have experienced a tumultuous journey this year, a season full of dramatic twists that no one could have predicted. While they've had some incredibly bright moments, like securing the Commissioner's Cup and hosting the All-Star Game, their on-court performance has been wildly inconsistent. At one point, their record sat at a dead-even 12-12, reflecting both promise and struggle in equal measure. But what has been the most glaring and painful element of this unpredictable season has been the absence of Caitlin Clark. Her dynamic energy, court vision, and ability to electrify crowds made her a beacon of hope when she joined the team. Without her, that spark has dimmed, and the Fever have looked, at times, directionless and vulnerable. DeMita spoke candidly about what she felt might be happening behind the scenes when it comes to the team's handling of Clark's injury and potential return. She mentioned that although the team continues to list her as absent on a day-to-day basis, she has a gut feeling that this absence could extend much longer than anyone initially anticipated. She even questioned whether the team might be formulating a strategic plan that prioritizes the long-term health of their young star over the immediate push for a playoff spot. DeMita speculated that if Indiana continues to slide in the standings and falls out of postseason contention, they might make the difficult but perhaps necessary decision to shut Clark down for the rest of the season in order to protect her future. The 2024 WNBA season has been nothing short of brutal for Caitlin Clark, whose Iron Woman streak came to an abrupt end. Prior to her string of injuries, Clark had never missed a single game she played in an astonishing 185 straight games across high school, college, and her early time with the Fever. But this season, she has already missed 12 games, including the Commissioner's Cup Final, one of the year's biggest showcases. What makes this stretch even more heartbreaking is that her injuries haven't been isolated incidents. She's faced a series of setbacks. First an ankle issue, then a nagging back problem, and now a troublesome groin strain. Every time it looks like she's getting ready to return, another injury rears its head, making her season a frustrating cycle of recovery and relapse. Despite the absence of their star player, the Indiana Fever showed remarkable grit and cohesion. In their latest matchup, defeating the defending champion Las Vegas Aces 80-70, Kelsey Mitchell rose to the occasion, delivering a strong performance with 21 points and setting the tone for the rest of the team. Meanwhile, Natasha Howard and Aaliyah Boston dominated the paint, both notching impressive double-doubles and reminding fans that the Fever are far from a one-woman show. Even with Clark out of the lineup, Indiana managed to pull off a crucial win, proving they have enough talent and heart to compete with the league's best. Yet the shadow of Clark's uncertain health continues to loom large over every victory, every huddle, and every press conference. Now, as the regular season wins deeper into the summer, the Fever organization is facing a difficult and defining crossroads. The central question isn't just when Caitlin Clark will return, but whether she should return this season at all. Is it worth risking long-term health for a final playoff push? Or would the smarter move be to prioritize recovery and come back stronger next year, especially when the stakes aren't as high? The franchise, the fans, and the league are all holding their breath. One player's journey has come to symbolize so much more than wins and losses. It's become a symbol of hope, resilience, and the future of women's basketball. And while no one knows for sure what the next few weeks will bring, everyone's eyes remain fixed on Caitlin Clark, hoping that the storybook chapter we all expected still has time to unfold. The pressure surrounding Caitlin Clark's potential return isn't just limited to the basketball court. It's seeped into the emotional landscape of fans, teammates, and even league executives. Clark isn't just a rookie, she's a movement. Her college performances shattered records and drew unprecedented attention to women's basketball. When she was drafted by the Indiana Fever, it felt like the dawn of a new era. The merchandise flew off shelves, ticket sales exploded, and nationally televised games featuring the Fever broke viewing records. Clark's impact was immediate and profound. So now, as speculation mounts over her prolonged absence, it's not just a team that's feeling the pressure, it's the entire WNBA. The league had quietly bet on her star power, and any sign of her sitting out threatens to disrupt that momentum. Behind closed doors, there's likely a fierce debate taking place between medical staff, coaches, and the front office. On one hand, the Fever are trying to build a winning culture, and having their best player on the floor is essential to that mission. On the other, they know that forcing a return too soon could jeopardize Clark's future and possibly risk re-injury. This is a franchise that has struggled for years to climb out of the bottom tier of the league. The arrival of Clark was supposed to be a turning point, a new chapter in their long, painful rebuild. But even the most talented player can't make a difference if her body won't cooperate. This makes every medical update, every practice report, and every press conference feel like a high-stakes moment. What makes this entire situation even more emotionally charged is the timing. Clark's injuries have coincided with a pivotal stretch in the WNBA season. The Commissioner's Cup was a major opportunity for visibility, and Clark's absence was deeply felt, both on the court and in terms of media attention. With All-Star festivities now behind them, the Fever are in a sprint toward a playoff spot. But without their flawed general, the team is forced to adapt game by game, hoping that the chemistry between Mitchell, Boston, and others can hold strong under the pressure. They've shown resilience, but Clark's presence elevates everyone around her. Her ability to stretch defenses, read plays, and ignite fast breaks is irreplaceable. Fans, meanwhile, are becoming more vocal on social media, demanding clarity. Every cryptic post, every vague update, and every clip of Clark shooting during warm-ups is being scrutinized like it holds the answer. People are starving for information, and that hunger is turning into frustration. Some even fear that the fever might be withholding the full truth about her condition to avoid a PR nightmare. Others sympathize, recognizing that long-term recovery is more important than short-term wins. But regardless of where people stand, one thing is certain. Clark's absence has created a vacuum that no other player has been able to fill, because she's not just an athlete, she's a phenomenon. Meanwhile, Clark herself has remained mostly silent, choosing to focus on her rehabilitation rather than feeding into the media frenzy. But that silence has only fueled speculation. Is she being cautious? Is the injury more serious than we're being told? Is the fever planning to hold her out regardless of whether she wants to return? Without clear answers, fans are left to guess, and that uncertainty has made her situation the most talked about mystery in the league. For someone who has always been transparent and competitive to the core, her absence from the public eye feels both uncharacteristic and concerning. Ultimately, this chapter in Caitlin Clark's rookie season is shaping up to be a test of patience for the team, the fans, and the league. It's a reminder that even the brightest stars can be dimmed by forces beyond their control. And while the Fever are trying to stay afloat without their cornerstone, Clark's story continues to evolve off the court. Whether she returns in the next few weeks or not at all this season, her journey is far from over. What matters now is how she and the team choose to navigate the pressure, the scrutiny, and the expectations. Because when she does step back onto that court, whether it's this season or the next, the weight of the entire basketball world will be watching.